Hello, everyone. I'm Colleen Vanderzyden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I am a medium, and as a medium, I connect in with our loved ones on the other side, and I'm also a certified intuitive life coach. And as a life coach, I help people handle their problems, come up with different strategies so they can have a better life, so that they actually feel better about life, and actually empowered so that they don't feel like they're stuck in their problems. Today's coaching tip is about talking about how you use the space in your mind. And I'm going to give you a little story first that you might go, I'm not sure how this connects, but you'll see in a minute how it connects. So a little while ago, probably last week sometime, I was making this dinner that I thought was going to be amazing. I was going to make, well, I did make turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, and I'm gluten-free. So I have to be very careful about the things I'm eating. And so normally gluten is in stuffing because it's in bread. So I was trying this special gluten-free stuffing. I haven't had good luck with gluten-free bread or stuffing, but I thought I'd give it a try. So I made the dinner and the stuffing was horrendously bad. It was so bad. And as soon as I tried it, I said, this is not worth my stomach space. And the whole rest of the meal, for that matter, wasn't very good. It turned out the turkey I had bought was a different brand, so it wasn't very good. It just wasn't. And it came with a gravy packet, and the gravy wasn't any good. The whole meal was very disappointing, and it definitely was not worth my stomach space. I've used this phrase a lot over the years, and now I see my daughter has picked up on it as well. Neither one of us are big eaters. We don't eat a lot. So when we do eat something, we want it to be worth the space in our stomachs. It's very limited in there, so we want to make sure it's great. If it's not wonderful, then why eat it? And the same principle applies with my mind. I don't like wasting the space in my mind. I don't want to have thoughts or ideas that are negative or disempowering. I don't want to be stuck in anything that's not really a positive or empowering or wonderful situation. Now, we all have situations in our lives which will cause us to react as we do. And I'm going to tell another little story about earlier in the year, actually towards the end of last year. I had made a reservation for a condo, vacation condo, months in advance. And then just a few months before I was supposed to go, I got an email canceling this. And they just wanted to rent it to somebody else. So that was a little irritating, of course. And at this point in the year, it's very hard to find another place that has everything I was looking for. But I chose not to get stuck in the negativity of it, the potential problems of rescheduling, and that was going to be significant, or the anger that I could have felt for what could have been seen as a very unfair situation. Now, the friend I was going with was very upset about it, and he asked me why I wasn't angry. And he couldn't understand this. He's like, I don't understand why you're not angry. And I told him it wasn't worth it. To me, it wasn't worth wasting the space in my mind being angry. If I wanted to fix the situation, I needed to be clear-headed. And in order to do that, I have to take action in a good way. And if I'm stuck in negative, disempowering things, I can't think clearly. Now, ironically, I get to practice this again because just a few days ago, I received a very similar email about a condo I had reserved for March. And this person actually had a much better reason for canceling, but it was the same situation all over again, where it's very late in the year to find a place. But I chose again not to get upset. And I thought it was kind of funny it happened again because I knew I was going to talk about that tonight. So, interesting, isn't it? So it's very easy for us to get upset when something goes wrong. We get stuck in negative emotions, disempowering thoughts. For many of us, it's a habit. We're just used to thinking this way. We're used to reacting with our emotions. We replay everything that's happened. We take things personally. We think life is unfair. And all of these thoughts lead us into deeper and deeper negative emotions. And we basically are letting our emotions take over. Now, there was a time years ago where I let my emotions take over and I didn't respond in a very empowering way. Now, this was a long time ago and I wasn't very aware. But at that time, I was teaching music, and I had an outstanding group of fourth graders. Not every group was great, but this group was outstanding this particular year. And I wanted them to play in an additional concert. Normally, they would play in the strings only concert, with the orchestras and the other violins and the violas. But I wanted them to play on the all school concert where they could show their skills to a bigger audience. I was very proud of this group, and they'd worked hard and they had a lot of natural ability. The other music teachers thought it was a great idea, no problem, but the principal didn't. He didn't want the audience, as he said very clearly, he didn't want the audience to have to listen to that. And the way he said it made it sound like it was going to be an absolutely horrific experience and nobody should have to listen to it. Now, I took that personally. I felt like he didn't respect my professional opinion, like he didn't believe me when I said that these were outstanding students. Mind you, they were students in the school he was in charge of. And even more importantly, probably, I felt that he wasn't supporting the students. And I let my emotions take over. I complained about this for days. I was offended and I was hurt. It was all I was thinking about. I was wasting the space in my mind going over and over and over what he said, why he said it, how could he have said it. I was stuck in this negativity. Because of this, of course, I wasn't thinking clearly, and I didn't even come up with the possibility that I could have gone and talked to him and explained my viewpoint a little bit further. However, if I had done it in that state, it probably wouldn't have been a good thing because I probably would have been stuck in my emotions and overreacted and probably been too upset to communicate clearly. But fortunately, he did come to me and he did apologize. He realized that he had assumed they wouldn't be good, and his assumption wasn't based on anything factual. It was just whatever stereotype memory he had in his head from previous times or something. But he did allow the students to perform, and he told me afterwards that he thought they sounded great. Whether it was true or not, I don't know if he really thought that, but that's okay. So for days, I had wasted space in my mind obsessing over this problem. If I had been more aware, I would have been able to step back from my emotions. Then I could have objectively seen that he just didn't understand. I could have let him know more about what I was doing. I could have used this as an opportunity to teach him, to explain why I thought they were doing very well this year, why I wanted them to have this amazing experience, why I wanted them to have this additional opportunity. But I wasn't thinking clearly, so I couldn't do it. Now, we all have challenging situations. We all have things happen, things bother us. And we do need to experience those emotions, anger, frustration, but we don't want to get stuck there. When we're stuck, we're wasting the space in our mind with those negative, repetitive thoughts. And then we can't think clearly. And if we have to solve a problem, it's best if we have a clear head. If we're wasting space in our mind with these negative thoughts, there's no room to think about anything else in a different way. I don't know about you, but I only have so much space in my brain to think about things, and I don't want to waste any of it on thoughts that aren't wonderful or positive. So now I work really hard to consciously choose to move my thoughts in a more empowering direction. So if you catch yourself wasting the space in your mind with repetitive negative thoughts, you're worrying, you're stuck in emotions, ask yourself, is it worth it? And if it's not, would you rather be thinking about the issue in a different way than if you would take a step back from your emotions so you can see the situation from a more empowering perspective? Don't waste the space in your mind with negative, disempowering thoughts and emotions. Make that conscious choice to step back and move in a positive, empowering direction. And I can guarantee you, if you can manage to do this, if you can just stop for a second, notice that you're in the emotions, and then consciously take that step back, you'll be surprised how you can actually clear some of that space out of your brain because you don't have to be stuck there. And that is my coaching tip of the day. You can reach me at psychicmediumcolleen.com, and you can follow me at Facebook, Colleen Vanderzyden, medium and intuitive life coach. And I would love to hear from you there. We are going to go to our first caller, who is Annette from British Columbia in Canada. Hi, Annette. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, well, I am excited to talk to you because very rarely do people say they're wonderful when I ask them how they are. So this is great. How can I help
Well, I'm
you
just
today?
so excited to have a reading because I've been really wishing for a reading for so long now.
Oh,
And I haven't been able to get one.
Excellent. So are you looking for more of a psychic reading about your life situation, or are you looking to connect with somebody on the other side?
Connect with somebody on the other side would be my wish come true.
Okay, so we'll see who comes in. Obviously, we only have a short amount of time, so we'll cross our fingers here. But I am feeling a gentleman who is coming in, and he does feel quite close to you, the way he's coming in. And the way he comes in also, I get a little bit of, and I do feel in with them physically with my body. So I am feeling a bit of stuff going on in my back. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what I'm talking about. So I don't know if I have something as simple or not simple as back pain, or if it's more profound than that. It does feel in the upper part there. And the way he comes in, I have to say, I like his sense of humor. I like his personality. He doesn't feel as old as I'd like him to be, though. So I can't tell if he's in his 60s or where, if it's in that area. Do you have a gentleman like that on the other side?
Yeah.
Okay, and who would he be to you?
I have a son on the other side.
Okay, and is he on the younger side?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have a gentleman too that just passed away.
Oh, okay. So you've got a few people over there, don't you? So we'll see.
Yeah.
This will be fun to see what happens here, because I've got this man here and the way he's coming in. Now, your son, is he like in his 20s or 30s or something?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm wondering if I have both of them stepping in. So this will be fun to see where I go, because I want to make sure I'm staying with one person for long enough. I'm going to go with the first guy that steps in because the older one, he feels a little bit older to me. And the way he's coming in, it's actually kind of neat, because he's giving me the impression he wants to reassure you. He wants to tell you everything is okay. He's also acknowledging that with you, that you're the kind of person who really does try to look for things from the positive perspective. You work very hard at that. And he's also giving me the impression that you help other people with that as well. Now, further information about him, because he comes in with a lot of pride for you. He gives me the impression that you guys were close. He gives me the impression that you looked up to this person, and that he was there for you, kind of as a guide, if you will. He kind of feels fatherly as I'm talking to him more and more. So there is that feeling coming in. He's got that paternal kind of vibe because he feels like he guides. Do you have any connection to a name somewhere of a Harry or a Henry? I keep getting a Harry or a Henry, something like this.
No.
Okay, so just take that with a grain of salt. Okay, that's okay, because names are not my, I don't always get names, but one comes in, I want to make sure I mention it, because it can pertain to people on the other side or people here at the same time. And then the other man, the younger man that passes as well, would you understand him being a sensitive soul, somebody who really feels deeply?
Yeah, very much so.
Okay. And would you understand him also being somebody who has a very high degree of empathy as well? It's almost as though he picks up on other people's energies. Do you understand that?
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
Yeah, he's a lovely one, I must tell you. There's such a feeling with him of I don't even know how to put it. It's, even though I recognize he's like in his 20s or whatever it is, he's on the young side. He feels younger than that to me, because there is a certain feeling of trust here. There's a feeling of that connection. He feels young to me, but I know he's not, okay? And I want to make sure I clarify that that's in a good way, because this is a person that I am just feeling so much love towards and towards you. This is a person who he's actually wanting to apologize to you, because he wants to tell you how sorry he is. He has passed. The way he is, he's not leading me to believe that he actually causes his passing. So I don't know about that, because he's not leading me to believe that, but I'm not sure if he just doesn't want to talk about it. His sensitivity is so strong. I get the impression he doesn't want to say anything that might upset you. And I understand also that he would be very concerned about how people are feeling here. And so that apology kind of goes with that too. He wants to acknowledge, he did never would have wanted to cause people pain, consciously. He wouldn't want to make a choice for that. Does this all make sense to you?
Totally, completely, yeah.
Okay. He, and tell me too, because I just want to give you a big hug right now. Is he physically affectionate? Would he come up to you and just give you a hug?
Yes. Yes, very much so. That he was exactly like that.
He's really a sweetie pie. He's just a wonderful person. And would you understand him also being quite connected with animals too?
Yeah.
Because I want to be, there's something about it. He feels so gentle. That's the word I'm really looking for. That there's that gentle sensitivity.
Everybody's always said that about him.
Yeah, that's the word I really want. What a lovely, lovely person. And he wants me to reassure you that he is on the other side with all sorts of people, because you do have some people over there, quite a few actually. Yeah. And he wants to reassure you of that. And he also wants to let you know that his passing was easier than it appeared to be. Okay, and now I don't know what this means exactly, but it was easier than it appeared to be. So if people have some concerns about how he passed, wondering, did he feel this? Did he feel that?
Yes, I always have that in the back of my mind.
Okay, and he wants to reassure you that it wasn't as bad as you may think it was, okay? Because he gives me the impression it was actually very quick and easy for him to cross over. And I have a theory based on my experiences of talking to spirits that sometimes when people are getting ready to pass, even though the body may be experiencing something, they themselves, the soul, the spirit, are not experiencing it. And this is what I've been told many times from spirit, and he's leading me to believe that still, that it was just very easy for him to cross over. He also says that he's really enjoying coming to visit people, and he would be the one who would want to know what's happening in life. And he is enjoying his freedom, let me tell you, of being able to go wherever he wants and fly, so to speak. He is a person who is providing you with many, many signs if you have not noticed them yet. For you, he gives me the impression you're going to feel him a lot more than maybe other people would experience in their situations. And he gives me the impression you have already felt him on a couple of occasions. Have you?
Yes, I have.
Okay, good. And it's kind of like, how when you feel like there's somebody behind you and you turn and look, but nobody's there? It would just be him. He's kind of like he's behind you. And literally, I want to be giving you a kiss on top of your head, that kind of thing as well. So he does acknowledge that. And he's thanking you also for being such a great mom. He's thanking you for having been there for him. He says it wasn't always easy, but he's thanking you for being there. He knows without any doubt whatsoever, how much you love him. And he also knows how much, let's reverse this. He knows how much he loves you. It goes both ways. Let me try it that way. It goes both ways. He understands it. He talks about you being so unconditional love, always there for people and always there for him. Does that make sense to you?
Totally. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome, Annette. I will leave you with his love. He's telling me, make sure you tell her how much I love her. Make sure you tell her how much I love her. And I'm like, okay, I am. And he does give you such a big hug and such a big kiss. So I will leave you that with his love and blessings. And it was so nice talking to you, Annette.
Is there any chance he wants to tell me anything about my grandson, about his son?
Well, that's interesting because actually a little bit ago I was feeling somebody else that he wanted to talk about. And I just wanted to acknowledge them. I didn't really want to say much else. But before I am going to talk for a few minutes more. I still got a couple of minutes. I don't take the next caller, but I think I'll be okay. Would you understand your grandson having, have you noticed him having any issues with learning things or anything like this?
Yes, completely.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
There is,
traumatic stress.
okay. And yeah, because there is a feeling of
Learning
having problems
disability.
learning. Okay.
Yeah.
And, he gives me the sense of just making sure the support is there for him, making sure he's
Okay.
having those opportunities that he needs, getting the help that will help him, really, really encouraging him. Because actually, once he really feels that support around him, it's all going to shift. So we're going to allow it to happen. So as long as people are there supporting, it will shift. So, even though sometimes it might be hard and difficult and we think, just keep going. Okay. So he does acknowledge that. Okay. Well, it was so nice talking to you, Annette. You have a wonderful night.
Thanks so much. You made me so happy.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. And that was Annette from British Columbia in Canada. And next we'll go on to Tina from New Jersey in the United States. Tina, how are you today?
Hi, how are you? I'm good.
Great. How can I help you today?
I was wondering if I've been thinking about my brother a lot lately, and his birthday's coming up. So I was wondering if you had any messages for me.
Yeah, is he? He's on the other side, yes. Because as soon as you started talking, I felt somebody come in. So we'll see if this is in fact him. Would you understand him? And the word I want to use with him is, I want to use the word tortured, and that sounds so strong. But would you understand him having some feelings of life being hard, unfair, difficult, having some struggles mentally?
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay, because the way he comes in, it kind of, I just kind of go, I just feel like life was a bit hard, and I feel like sometimes things just didn't really work out for him the way he had hoped they would. And he also tells me, this is going to be funny, that there were times he could be a real pain in the butt. That's not the word he was using. Does that make sense? Was he like a pain in the butt sometimes?
Sometimes, yeah.
Because I get some, it feels like a teasing kind of thing, that kind of thing, and just kind of doing his own thing at times. And it's an interesting feeling with him. And I do get an impression too of him wanting to acknowledge the people who are here very much so. Did you say his birthday was recently?
His birthday is coming up.
Okay, because I wanted to talk about birthday for a second, but I couldn't remember if you had said that. But there was something about that, the birthday, and there's also the feeling of, boy, this is interesting. Would you understand him having a tragic passing, an accident, or something that happens that's on the more tragic side?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And because I'm getting some really wild things happening in my body, and like all sorts of stuff happening. And I'm not a doctor, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm feeling a lot of stuff happening there. So it seems to me that this is just an out of control kind of situation. Um, and is your mother still present in physical life? Is she still alive?
Yeah.
Okay, because I want to talk to her apparently too. He wants to acknowledge her. Would you understand her as feeling that she should have been able to do more for him, your brother?
Yeah.
And he acknowledges that and basically wants to tell her to let that go, to let it go, that she did so much for him, and she feels as though like so she should have been able to fix everything, that kind of feeling. And he basically says no, he does his own thing. And so she can't change him, she can't control him. And there's definitely that acknowledgement. He says, now for you, he says, interesting. Is your mother a bit of a challenge at times? Does she get really worried or something? Or does she try to tell people what to do all the time or something? Because he's given me some feelings of her being a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Okay. And he wants to acknowledge you talking to her and acknowledge you being there for her, kind of a support going both ways. And would you understand also, I want to talk about birds, and it's kind of funny because we, so many times we talk about signs with our loved ones on the other side. And I want to talk about birds with him. Would you understand any significance with birds with him? Like if you see a certain bird, you think it's a sign, or did he love certain birds, or is there something with birds?
Mm,
Not that you can think of?
not that I can think of, no.
Okay. So keep that in mind because what I'm seeing are bigger birds. So, like hawks or things like this. So if by some chance you're outside someplace and all of a sudden you see something, right above you, circling near you, landing near you, something like this. Just remember I said this because I'm wondering if there might be a sign from him for something about this, because I'm not one that normally speaks in like metaphors, that there would be,
Right.
this signifies freedom and that kind of thing. But in a way it does, because for him, it's kind of a release of some of the struggles he had here in the physical life. And he wants to let people know he's very happy on the other side. He also wants to let people know he's let go of some things, that he's feeling a lot more peaceful, and he's feeling more like himself. Some of those struggles and challenges he had, it could be overwhelming at times for him. And so he wants to also acknowledge the family here. He wants to tell people how much he loves them. I want to ask you one more thing before I start to wrap up with you. Would you understand somebody having to have either a bracelet or a watch of his? And if it's not that, somebody that does a tattoo in honor of him. Any of those make sense?
I have,
Do you have a tattoo of his or something of his?
yeah.
Okay. It's funny because sometimes they show me a bracelet or a watch and it means tattoos for me. God knows why. But he does acknowledge that. So Tina, unfortunately, I have to let you go. I want to thank you so much for calling in. It was so nice talking to you. He sends you so much love and says to say hello to everyone. So thank you so much for calling, and you have a great night.
Thank you.
Everyone, you're welcome. And everyone, thank you so much for watching. This is Creating an Inspired Life. I'm Colleen Vanderzyden. You can connect with me at psychicmediumcolleen.com. You have a great week, and I'll talk to you next week. Goodbye.